I'm gonna make a quick Shadowlands versus live Arcane Mage, Arcane Missile spam video. Um, I'm gonna have the live game up and then I have a browser with Shadowlands crap on it that I'm gonna go over. So, first things first, Amp is buffed. Still running like the same build, and then this is a buff on live. Amp does 1 additional missile, on Shadowlands it's 2. Here, this row, Touch of the Magi, it's now become a baseline move. I'll show that in a sec. Reverberate is still good, but the only reason I was taking this is because I couldn't use these very well. So, Enlightened, they basically took this trait, which Arcane Blast does more damage at higher mana and reduced cost at lower mana, and turned it into a generic talent that gives you mana regen when you're below the same percent. So that's just like one of the things I was struggling with Arcane Missile was mana regen, because I couldn't use Mastery originally, though that might change. I couldn't use Mastery because it was focused on arcane charges and shit, which I don't generate. So yeah, so Amp gets an additional missile. This brings it up to 7 on a clear casting proc instead of 6. Yeah, and then Enlighten is just, it should be just straight buff for the playstyle, because like I also clear casting was good, but I would go on AoE as well. So this will buff my AoE mana regen. Like it's just really good. I haven't tested Focus Magic, of course. I don't have the beta, but theoretically it's good. The class ability, I mean, we get some random bullshit back, but it doesn't really matter. Touch of the Magi, on live it does 15% damage, and it procs off Arcane Blast. As you can see, no more Arcane Blast and does more damage, so this is a complete buff for the Arcane Missile playstyle, which is that I can literally use Touch of the Magi and Arcane Missile, which I could not do before. So that's super good. It does reduce damage. So the other change is that this, when it explodes for all of the damage that the mark accumulated, which is 15% of the damage you did to it. Now it got buffed 10% damage. Where the fuck did you go, dude? Touch the Magi. You accumulate 25% of the damage you deal and then explode for that amount of arcane damage to the target, and then it does reduce to everybody else. So it doesn't say how much reduced damage. I'm guessing it'll be like 15% to everybody, 25% to the main target, and 15% is what it does right now on lives. I don't know, but they basically buffed its single target and then low-key nerfed its AoE, but I don't know if it's even a nerf because of the because this, it's just 15% normally. So yeah, those are like the 3 main changes, and they all buff my playstyle, so that's really good. There's a legendary here for Arcane Missile. Crazy fucking, honestly, crazy as fuck talent. Crazy as fuck because not only does it buff Arcane Missile, not talent, legendary effect, but it also buffs Arcane Barrage when you missile, which is exactly, if you've seen the other videos I posted, I was talking about how to conserve mana with the build, because this trait, you don't get it for Arcane, so you're very mana inefficient, and you can't go Mastery, which both of those are probably going to change. Or they are, sorry, not probably. Well, I say probably because they could fuck with shit, but basically I was running Arcane Missile into Arcane Barrage on live as a general playstyle. So they actually made a legendary that buffs the exact playstyle that I was doing on a single target, even though I feel like they wanted to... I don't really know what they were intending, but it looks like it's for a bigger AoE barrage is what they were intending. Throw a missile out for like some extra barrage. I have no clue, but this actually literally buffs my playstyle, so really excited about that if it sticks. This is the only other legendary trait I would use, or legendary effect. I looked at all of them. These are all worthless. This one is like kind of stupid, but might be funny. Gives you Frost Nova. If they're Frost Nova, it doesn't break, so that's... Honestly, it's got to be good in PvP, if it works in PvP, which I feel like it won't, because it seems really cheap. This one, I don't like the temporary effect. This one, I don't use Arcane Blast, so I can't utilize it. And then, where is it? This, I don't like this on live. It is an Azurite trait. Lame. This seems weird, would have to test it. And this one, I don't like the playstyle, but it's probably going to be good, I think, because it was good in Legion, that thing. I don't give a fuck about the rest of these. If you want to play Fire or Frost, you can go look at these yourself. You can just look up what the legendary powers are, because I am not going to be playing Fire or Frost, as far as I'm aware. Covenant ability, frustrations already with being locked in, so Mage, I cannot use these as my Arcane playstyle. This works for Arcane Blast. I don't want to press Arcane Blast. I cannot use this if I want to keep playing the way I'm playing. This one only activates its damage when they cast a spell or an ability, which may work on certain Mythic Plus fights, but it's basically a PvP move. Because it also roots and silences the target at the end of it. And I don't like something that's so specific or niche. I want an ability that's generic so I can use it in all circumstances. My entire build is something that you can use in all circumstances. I like to play versatile, so I don't like to play like this niche playstyle. So I don't like this, though it might be useful. This one is AoE channel on the ground, 6 seconds. You have to stand still the whole time. It does reduce your ability cooldowns, which is really good for like fire, maybe frost. It's like combustion and the orb are probably broken for this. But my playstyle, I like to move and to run around. That way I can dodge all mechanics. I don't have like some cheap gimmick that I have to like focus on. You know, I'm like weaving through a boss fight or a Mythic Plus and like now's my chance to use shifting power. You know, like fuck that. Like I want to be on the move all the time when I'm fighting. I want to be able to react to anything that happens to me. This is super bad for my playstyle, and it also doesn't buff Arcane. I saw in some videos people were like, this is good for Arcane so you get Evocate back, and it's like, I was trying to play a playstyle where I never Evocate, because Evocate is basically like a DPS loss. I guess it's good if you're full turbo Arcane Blast, 2-minute fight parsing or something. I have no clue, honestly. I really don't think this is that good for Arcane, because Arcane cooldowns are actually utility as opposed to like your damage. Like on Fire, getting a Combust back is insane. And on, because Combust is like fucking ridiculous burst, and it's your AoE. And then on Arcane, like Arcane Power, I mostly use it for the mana reduction from Overpower. And it's obviously really good, but it's not like I can play my whole character without it, right? I can play my whole character without Arcane Power, and I can play my whole character without Evocate for the most part. So I don't find that this one is that good for Arcane as it is compared to the other Mage specs. And more importantly, I hate that I have to stand still for 6 seconds, which is like certain death if you do it wrong, and then you waste the whole fucking thing. Yeah, it's basically, you should think of this like an ineffable truth because it's such a short cooldown. Anyway, I'm forced, if I want to keep playing the way I'm playing, to use this no matter what, which is actually good with Touch of the Magi because it does instant damage and then a dot, and then it makes them take 10% increased damage from spells. Now I don't, okay, so 4 spells, so I'll have to like Arcane Missile 4 times, right? But if I Touch the Magi and use this, I will get a big explosion. That's actually good. And it's also good in PvP if I get a poly off and I'm single targeting somebody down. So this is actually a good one. It's just not cool or interesting. Theoretically, if I had optimal usage, this would be better, but I will never use it because of this effect. Like, I personally will never want to use this. So I'm basically going to use Kyrian. And because of that, because of the class ability, I am now locked into a signature ability that I don't care about. This one is technically good, but I would prefer to have Door of Shadows, personally, for mobility. But I will never be able to get it because I will never use the Venthyr class ability because it's too niche. So this is something that I definitely am struggling with the Covenants. It seems pretty lame that there's 2 parts to it. I don't know why there's 2 parts to it. It makes it fucked up. Yeah, and these are supposed to be like utility fun, but like some of these are like really insane, honestly. Like, this is stupid but can be OP for like tanks for a big pull. This is actually crazy. This one is like literally niche and weird. I don't know how this works. But yeah. Anyway, I'm basically going to go Kyrian is the moral of the story. And And then the last thing I think is the Soulbind calculator. To be honest, this is all just a pain in the ass so far for Shadowlands, but I'm getting buffed on my Arcane missiles, so woohoo. This guy does a mastery buff. I ended up choosing this guy, I'll just give you a spoiler, because he just has the easiest to use mechanics. Technically the mastery, oh that was what I was supposed to show. They changed the fucking mastery, man. Where is this crap? They added this line at the bottom, increase all other arcane damage by 8%. That is not on live. Where is this shit? It doesn't exist. You just get mana regen, mana, arcane charge, blast, and arcane barrage. Crap. So you actually can buff your arcane missiles damage with mastery, which you couldn't do before. So that's, if you want to go mastery, that is now open and available. So this guy does a mastery buff at the end of it. You have to walk through the memories, which is cringe. No, I do not like that. I don't like being forced to do something by the game. I think that's where you really start to fail and not to have any fun is when WoW or the Blizzard is deciding what the fuck you're supposed to do. Now some people like the reward system. I don't. Like I said, I like to be free and open. I don't like to be like tied down when I play, specifically when I play. And this is like, okay, so I have to walk through the sorrowful memories to keep this buff going. I don't want to do that, man. This thing, technically this is good if you arcane missile barrage, because it's one of the mechanics they put in where if you don't do a repeat of an ability, you get a buff. They had this on Monk. I don't like this playstyle because, once again, it locks me into doing something specific that I don't necessarily want to do. If I pop Arcane Power and I want to keep this buff up, I cannot spam Missile. I have to Missile Barrage, which is technically a DPS loss because Barrage is not as much damage as Arcane Missile. With this Legendary Power, it's not as bad, but I mean, with 7 hits from a Clear Casting proc, you're only getting a 14% increased damage in Arcane Barrage, so it's more of an AoE thing. It's not a massive single target. And I say that because one Arcane Charge on live does currently 36% increased damage on Arcane Barrage, so compared to one Arcane Charge, this is negligible DPS increase. Yeah, so this mechanic, I don't like the mechanic. I like the stat line. I like the stat line. I don't like the mechanic. There's other stuff in here that I haven't really looked at. I should probably do a deeper investigation, but on the surface, this guy is not... this one is pretty good, but I do not like this guy. This girl, same thing, weird niche abilities that I don't understand why they're here. She has like crit is like it's just like... It's like a support line. And this one is like probably really good, but it would be my second choice. This lady is like my second choice because this is a pretty cool ability. I ended up choosing this guy because, like I said, I'm kind of forced into Kyrian. And this is actually good. I like this playstyle, I should say, personally. I like this playstyle. This might be useful, but I don't really care. This actually might be really fucking good because you can use the vial when you want to, but I would probably choose this because it's automated. You get an arcane, another arcane missile buff. You reduce arcane power, so that makes running Night Fae even not as good. There's nothing else good here. You can look at it if you want. This just does arcane blast damage, so that's not good. This might be useful for Touch of the Magi damage. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And there's like, I don't think there's anything else for Arcane or Kyrian. Oh, here we go. Right, this is the Kyrian thing. Radiant Spark increases the damage of your spell. It's like whatever, right? Compared to this is way better, obviously. So, everyone I think can get it. Yeah, you can get Arcane Prodigy on everybody, but here I take the Cryo Freeze. I don't know how these ranks work, by the way. I'm just putting it at the highest. Cryo Freeze, at least one Cryo Freeze in a mage build. You don't want to stack it necessarily, but you want to have some healing and Ice Block. I don't want to all in on an Ice Block playstyle, but losing it, it was really broken in Legion, honestly, to heal an Ice Block, so I figure I should try to get it back at least a bit. This row sucks. Standing still, disaster. Not doing that shit. Fucking disaster, man. Shoutouts to the boss. Disaster. This one, not a disaster, but really fucking weird. Definitely good if you're like a tank. I don't know why it's in a mage tree. I don't know if these Soulbind calculators are final, because this doesn't really make any sense. I can't imagine this being that helpful. 5-minute CD may be good in PvP. Who knows? This one, I don't like it either because it's damaging a new enemy. This is like a misfortune passive thing from League of Legends. Weird as fuck, but it's the only thing that gives me like a generic stat increase, so I feel like I have to take it. Here, I'm not going to take another cryo freeze. I get a diverted energy. This one is like, this is PvP cheese, or M plus consistent kicks. When you interrupt on counterspell, you get a CDR. But technically it's cheese, because if you miss kick for some reason, then it's actually worthless. I think the blink CD is better overall. It's probably better with Shimmer, which I'm not running, but yeah. It's a 50-50 between these two. Technically, I see some PvPers complain about this. I don't necessarily think it's that broken. Because in PvP you can juke kicks. But at the same time, I think this is stupid and they should remove it. I'm pretty sure they made this for Mythic Plus, basically, to have mages be consistent kickers. And in PvP it can be a fucking complete disaster. If you actually get the kick and then like it's just disgusting. So not cool. Don't care about that. This is like Ice Block CDR. I don't think this is ever worth it because you already have like 5 minutes on it. Maybe if you're Frost, who fucking knows. This tier, just take this one. Fall damage, they are both useless. Durability on your armor is stupid. Fall damage might be good if you're running fast and dropping off cliffs. I don't know. I have no clue what this final ability does. I did not pick this guy for his final ability. I don't know if this is good or not. Woohoo. Heals your targets. That would be funny if he heals the enemy. He probably won't. I wonder if he heals you. That would be cool. Maybe if you're a DPS and he spawns, he only attacks. And I don't know how the fuck this works, but yeah. That's basically the Shadowlands thing. So overall, a lot of buffs for my playstyle. A lot of things that are very confusing. I will mention that the only thing that's really lost is Arcane Pummeling from live. This just doesn't exist anywhere. So you don't get extra critical casting procs, and you don't have that ramp up damage, which the ramp up damage thing is nice because like in PvP, especially, or yeah, if you get kicked, you don't get the maximum value out of Arcane Pummeling. So because it does its most damage at the end. So I don't mind losing that part, though. The clear casting proc more often is obviously pretty nice. So otherwise, I don't think you lose anything, and everything is a straight buff for spamming Arcane Missile on Arcane Mage in Shadowlands. Everything is better. Which means I should be excited about it, but of course, this might be a complete fucking shitfest, man. Anyway, that's like the overview. That's like the fucking shit. The video is going to be made at some point. So it's being made now because I'm bored and I don't have anything else to fucking do. If anything else gets updated seriously, I may make a video. If I get beta access for some reason, I will make... Well, I would hope to make a video playing Arcane Mage. I don't know if I'll ever get beta access, but we can all dream. So, anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. That's the video. Peace.